First tonight on our news weekend, tragedy strikes as a late-night drive home turns deadly. Police are investigating the fatal shooting in the Fox Hill community tonight, and they're appealing to anyone with information to reach out. Plus, an unkept promise. 4 years after taking office, the Prime Minister is breaking his silence on campaign finance reform. Is it still on the Davis administration's agenda? We've got the answer straight ahead. And later, Mr. Worldwide takes center stage in the Bahamas. Hundreds packed the Atlantis Resort for the mega concert, and the Our News team was there for all of it. Our Daniel Miller has a full recap. Our News, the weekend edition, starts right now. Welcome to Our News, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Berthany McDermott. ShotSpotter technology alerting police to another homicide overnight, the latest killing happening on Francis Avenue in Fox Hill. At the scene last night, Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Shreya King telling us they got the call shortly after 10 p.m. When officers got on scene, they found the victim's car had crashed into the wall of a building. King says the victim was a resident of the area and was heading home when the deadly shooting happened.
Our preliminary investigation has revealed thus far is that the victim was traveling east in his vehicle when a Japanese vehicle that was traveling west on the same street opened fired on the victim, fatally wounding the victim. As we do with every single homicide, we're asking anyone with any information into this latest homicide or any homicide to assist us in our investigation as we try to bring closure and justice for this victim.
Chief Superintendent King was unable to give the age of the victim. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, information began swirling about Friday night's victim. Relatives and those who knew him flooded the scene, all outraged about what they called misinformation spreading on social media, prompting law enforcement officers to step in and calm the situation. King gave this warning about spreading unverified information in instances like this.
As I say to all of you, when we come to these scenes, we have to be cautious and be responsible as police officers. And so all we're doing is asking you to do the same. Be responsible in the information. As I just said, these are victims, and these victims have family and relatives, children attached to them, and they do hurt. And so we want to make certain that we are responsible in the information that we provide the public.
Police are also looking into an early morning traffic accident that killed 2 women and injured several others. It happened shortly after 4 a.m. Officers responded to a collision involving 2 cars at the junction of Blue Hill Road and Kim's Crescent. One of the cars had 4 passengers. A female in that car was found unresponsive and later pronounced dead by emergency medical services. The remaining occupants were taken to the hospital, where another female occupant subsequently died. The driver of the second vehicle was also taken to hospital for medical treatment. Hours before that, police say they found a man floating in waters near Paradise Island. According to investigators, his body was seen floating around 9 a.m. on Friday. The body was pulled from the water, examined by emergency medical services, who found no signs of life. Police have not said if foul play is expected. And around 5 a.m. Friday, police launched an investigation into an attempted suicide. According to initial reports, the 51-year-old jumped from a bridge off East Bay Street. He was pulled from the water and taken to the hospital for medical assessment and psychological evaluation. Now to Grand Bahama. In recent days, Freeport residents have been grappling with frequent power outages. The Grand Bahama Port Authority is expressing concern, adding that residents deserve a reliable and resilient electricity supply. On the heels of the recent widespread outages, the GBPA met with the power company and requested a comprehensive performance update on the matter. A statement from the GBPA confirms that data from that update will be provided to the independent technical consultant who has extensive experience working with utilities across the Caribbean and here in the Bahamas. According to the GBPA, the consultants have been tasked with conducting a full reassessment of GBPA's generation assets, including a detailed review of the capacity, condition, and maintenance of the system. More importantly, the consultants will help determine the root cause of the persistent generation failures and advise on the immediate and long-term actions necessary to restore reliable service to Grand Bahama. Prime Minister Philip Davis not mincing any words on campaign finance legislation during the Progressive Liberal Party's pre-election campaign leading up to the 2021 general election. The party promised to bring about campaign finance legislation if elected to office. And with the next general election looming, reporters asked the PM on the sidelines of the groundbreaking for the new Bahamas Department of Corrections facilities if his administration would be sticking to that promise.
What about campaign finance legislation? Will we see that,
I do not see that now.
Okay, thank you. Understood. Thank you so much.
On Friday, the Davis administration signed documents with the People's Republic of China, a move viewed as a major step for the construction of a new hospital in Western New Providence. And according to the Chinese ambassador, it's another step in China-Bahamas cooperation. The Chinese ambassador says the project is a great joint venture that reflects principles that China has been practicing, like joint consultation, joint construction, and shared consultation, while meeting the needs of the Bahamas and promoting its sustainable development.
This project is expected to significantly enhance the Bahamas public health care system and improve Bahamian people's well-being. As far as I know, this project also plans to have rooftop photovoltaic panels and make other efforts on green and low carbon features.
She added that the facility will be state-of-the-art and expressed confidence that the hospital will play an important role in improving people's livelihood and boosting local economic development. The $267 million project will take up to 36 months to complete. The Chinese ambassador stressing the reliable partnership between the two countries.
China and Chinese embassy and myself remain committed to working hand in hand with the Bahamian to inject continued momentum into our respective national development and revitalization.
When our news weekend comes back from the break, find out why the former co-chair of the Marijuana Commission says he believes the Davis administration is dragging its feet when it comes to launching the cannabis industry. And the Bahamas Crisis Center gets a much-needed donation from a concerned senator to continue their work helping the physically and sexually abused. That's coming up when our news weekend returns. A former national co-chair of the National Marijuana Commission is speaking out, saying he thinks the government is too silent on the issue. He pointed to a lack of an update on the establishment of the Cannabis Authority and the launch of the cannabis industry, but he's not just calling the government to do more. Joshua Williams has his candid comments in this report tonight.
Prominent Christian leader and former co-chairman of the National Marijuana Commission, Bishop Simeon Hall, says he's disappointed over what he calls a lack of movement on the Cannabis Authority. Last July, Parliament passed legislation that paved the way for the creation of a control system for cannabis use for medical and religious purposes. But Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville has not said when these latest amendments will be brought to Parliament or give a timeline for the anticipated launch of the cannabis industry. Attorney General Ryan Pinner has previously said the government is expected to start accepting license applications soon. Bishop Hall says a more tangible update needs to be given.
They're slow, like almost like everything else in our country. It's a slow, almost to go non-stop. No, I was a part of the Cannabis Committee, and I supported the idea of medicinal marijuana. There are more than 25,000 people in the country who, under a doctor, is using marijuana. Some of the medicine you take has marijuana in it.
Over the years, Bishop Hall has not been shy about expressing his position on marijuana. He's been a member of regional councils and committees that have done extensive research on the topic. And while medicinal cannabis and its regulation is important, Hall says there's another issue that needs to be tackled by the government.
The person who brings 5 and 10 and 20 bags of marijuana into the country should put in jail. And it's time for us to go after the big fellas in the marijuana trade and try to redeem the little fella with his little spliff. So one of the things we did, hundreds of men with a criminal record, we freed that.
Hall's fellow clergymen have not been shy in their criticism of his position. But despite this, he's calling on the Christian community to broaden its thinking, saying now is the time for them to educate themselves and open their arms to those in need.
I'm saying if you have a cigarette or marijuana problem, come see a church, any church. There are 4,000 churches in the Bahamas. But if you need help to get off it, we can help.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks, Joshua. Well, with 2025 suicide numbers set to outpace last year's statistics, organizations like the Bahamas Crisis Center have ramped up work in the community. The Bahamas has recorded 8 suicides so far this year, already matching 2024's numbers. And it's because of those startling statistics that Progressive Liberal Party Senator Darren Pickstock felt compelled to donate to the Crisis Center to assist with their efforts.
We see the alarming statistics. In 2024, the Royal Bahamas Police Force reported 8 suicides. In 2025, beg your pardon, the Royal Bahamas Police Force reported 8 suicides and 25 attempted suicides. So far for 2025, 8 suicides have been recorded and 31 attempted suicides. And so these figures, these statistics are alarming and that they're disturbing, and it points to us needing to discuss more about suicide prevention and how people can get help.
And while expressing her gratitude for the donation, Bahamas Crisis Center Director Dr. Sandra Jane Patterson says there has been an increase of men and young boys contemplating suicide.
What we recognize is the need for us to be available and accessible to boys and men to know that yes, you will. I mean, this is a very stressful world we're living into, and so you will experience stress and feel hopeless or feel like you failed or feel like you're not making it, and we need the message to get out that no matter what you're going through, there's always a way out.
Scores of families attended the Independence Family Fun Day and Cultural Show on Clifford Park on Thursday. The event included colorful bounce houses, mini roller coasters, mechanical rides, and dozens of vendors set against the backdrop of the Nassau Harbor as several local artists hit the stage. Due to inclement weather the night before, the annual cultural show, which is traditionally held following the ecumenical service, was rescheduled to Thursday. Talent producer for the Family Fun Day, Anthony Coakley, says incorporating both celebratory events in one evening took a joint effort.
You know, we just line things up so we flow seamlessly from one event into the other because it's relatively, again, culture connecting with more culture. So it's just a good, clean flow.
The cultural connection went far beyond the planned program. Rake and Scrape artist Shine was also at the event. He says seeing so many people come to the day of festivities made him proud to be Bahamian.
It feels great to be Bahamian. We're the best little country on this side of the hemisphere. That's the only place where God lives. So to see all our people out here we could come together and celebrate our independence, oh man.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, preparation is underway as Team Bahamas gears up for the 2025 Goodwill Games. We caught up with the team at one of their recent practices. But first,
we get ready to hit the beach with Sand Wars, and we bring you the latest updates from the Diamond. Our Sports Weekend is next. Good evening, welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. Flag football has grown in popularity in recent years, with more Bahamians taking the opportunity to hit the gridiron. The annual Sand Wars tournament will take the game from the turf to the beach, and this year's edition has international teams involved.
Now it's an international tournament. We have 2 teams out of Abaco, 2 female teams out of Freeport and out of Cayman. We got a male team out of Cayman. We got 2 male teams out of Freeport. We got a team coming out of the U.S., and we have our local teams.
That's Sand Wars co-founder Tito Bethel talking about all the squads heading to New Providence for Sand Wars, a beach flag football tournament that will take place July 25th to the 27th at the Beach Soccer Stadium on East Bay Street. Bethel also spoke to the tournament's format.
It's almost like a round robin. It's like 3 games guaranteed. You get to Sunday, which is playoff day, and it's like basically one shake, and you go until we have a winner. It's a high-intensity game. It's a 3-day tournament starting Friday night with the opener. We play about 6-7 games, and we play all day on Saturday, and then we come back again on Sunday, where it's the playoff format where we go until we get a winner.
16 teams will participate in Sand Wars, and to the victors will go the spoils. And now we're going to head over to the Diamond to see what Bahamians did on Friday night. Coach Anton Richardson and the New York Mets broke out of their 2-game slide to get back in the win column with an 8-3 victory against the Kansas City Royals. KC had a 3-1 lead in the 7th inning thanks to a Bobby Witt home run, but the Metropolitans stormed back with a 3-run rally in the top of the 8th, capped off by a 2-run Mark Vientos double to go up 4-3. Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto added the exclamation points in the 9th inning, smacking 2 home runs to give the game its final score. Over in the Bronx, American League All-Star Jazz Chisholm and his New York Yankees took down the National League Central leaders Chicago Cubs in an 11-0 beatdown. Jazz went 1 for 3 with a single and 2 walks. Paul Goldschmidt had a great night at the plate as well, going 2 for 5 with a double. But it was our adopted Bahamian cousin-in-law, Cody Bellinger, who had an historic night at the plate, launching 3 home runs to drive in 6 runs in total. It was the 29th 3-home run game in the storied franchise's history. Now, both Anton and Jazz will continue their respective series over the weekend before breaking for the All-Star festivities, which Jazz is also a part of because he's on an All-Star team and he's going to participate in the Home Run Derby. Texas Rangers top prospect Sebastian Walcott is also taking part. He was named to the MLB All-Star Futures game for the 2nd straight year. He played early this afternoon. We'll have his highlights tomorrow night. Well, that's a wrap for sports on this beautiful Saturday evening for Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley.
Thanks, Tej. Well, practices began last week for Team Bahamas, who will be heading to the Goodwill Games next month. Our Sasha Lightbourne is set to travel with the team and caught up with them for another practice session in the pools.
Heading to Barbados next month, Team Bahamas will be aiming for a 3rd consecutive Goodwill Games title. The team kicked off their 2nd week of practices at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center Saturday morning. Leading the team again this year will be head coach Dwayne Davis Jr.
We had come off of swim nationals about a month ago, so the kids are still in some bit of a shape. We only took about a week off, and we was right back into it. So the kids are looking good. We're just working on some. It's a 25 meter, as you know, so it's going some fast turns, so detailed stuff help them win the race.
The Bahamas captured the last 2 Goodwill Games titles in 2024 in St. Lucia and 2023 in Jamaica. And Davis says the goal for this year is no different.
The goal no change. We're going to win, and we going to show them why the Bahamas is the swim capital of the Caribbean.
The team captains are Madison Julian, Trinity George, Jahan Chitlani Pickstock, and Michael Fox.
We want to come out on top, and I think everybody on the team, we all know that's the common goal, so we're using that in practice to help us push ourselves.
I think our expectations are to win again, obviously. Everybody's doing their best in the pool to reach that goal, and hopefully we do reach it.
Well, I'm expecting one thing, and that one thing is to win, you know? We did it last year, why can't we do it again?
Expectations are to win again, you know? Bahamas is very strong when it comes to swimming, and so I feel like this is something that we got to get.
The games are scheduled for August 15th through 17th in Barbados. Reporting for Our News, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
Thanks, Sasha. Global superstar Pitbull closed out Atlantis Paradise Island's 4th of July weekend celebrations. Our Daniel Miller tells us all about his electrifying performance. That's coming up when Our News returns. Welcome back to our news weekend. Warm weather outside our studios earlier today, but what can you expect for the rest of the weekend? Meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us from the Weather Center with the answer. Ian.
Thanks, Berthney, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Saturday evening forecast, where we have currently outside our studio partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 85. Feels like still muggy at 93. Winds are from the east-northeast at 8 miles per hour. Across the country at this time, we have 84 in Freeport as well as Governor's Harbor. A set of 85s in Allenstown, Nicholstown, the capital, Great Harbor Key, 83 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Central Bahamas 85s continuing Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Deadman's Key, and in Arthurstown, Kidd Island, 84 in Black Point as well as Port Nelson, and 83 in Coburntown, San Salvador. Southeast Bahamas 85s again, Tonkintown, Delectable Bay, Colonel Hill, and Abrahams Bay, 88 in Matutang, Inagua, and 87 in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. Solid and radar composite at this time. Few clouds mainly across the extreme northwest Bahamas, courtesy of troughing. That area is producing some showers and active thunderstorms at this time. Expect those conditions to persist to about Tuesday across that area. Now, talking about the tropics, while we are in pretty much a lull or weak period right now, this is the time to make way for preparations. So, folks, get a family plan together. That's the basis of what you need to survive this hurricane season. But looking forward into July 13 through 15, there is a low chance of possible development right north of Bermuda at this time. And also, everyone's watching this area in the Gulf, the Western Gulf rather, and we know that Florida area is a choice spot for most Bahamians, so you want to continue to monitor the progress of any systems that may develop, especially near Orlando area. Take a look now at our boating forecast for the northwest and central islands. Winds east to southeast 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide at 9:57 p.m. tonight, low tide at 4:26 a.m. tomorrow morning. Southeast Bahamas, we have a caution in place for you boaters, and there is a risk of rip currents for you swimmers. Winds east to southeast 15 to 20 knots, seas a little choppy 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. In your extended forecast, we do have some showers across our area expected tomorrow. We have clearing out by midweek with some breezy conditions expected as high pressure builds across our area. More troughing introduced again Thursday through Friday with some clearing by the end of the week. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. Known for his electrifying fan base, dance moves, and music, Grammy Award-winning artist Pitbull recently returned to Paradise Island to give fans an unforgettable show. Our Danielle Miller has the highlights in this report.
Mr. 305 is back in the 242, and inside is absolutely crazy. Don't believe me? See for yourself. Happy birthday!
On July 5th, over 3,000 fans, both local and international, gathered at Atlantis Paradise Island's Imperial Ballroom for another installment of the Atlantis Live Concert Series, headlined by Grammy Award-winning artist Pitbull. Dressed in their best outfits or homemade Pitbull costumes, attendees of all ages came ready to let loose and have the time of their lives.
I'm here to see Mr. 305, and I hope that I'm going to hear the song when he sings I Got Options. So yes, I hope that I'll hear that.
Now, you said you're an educator.
I am.
You're a teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Teach me some dance moves.
Some dance moves? No, I have one dance, you know.
Why did you come all the way from Pittsburgh to the Bahamas to see Pitbull?
Because he's my favorite artist.
So nobody could miss you in this jacket. Now, what was the inspiration behind tonight's fashion?
I mean, come on, it's Pitbull, it's a concert. You just gotta be flashy and have fun.
The crowd was a mere reflection of the thrilling performance delivered by Mr. Worldwide himself, with an elaborate stage setup, multiple costume changes, and racy yet smooth dance moves. Mr. 305, better known as Pitbull, came and conquered one of the biggest stages in Paradise. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks, Danielle, and thank you for joining us for our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Berthany McDermott. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Make it a great weekend, everyone.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.